Okay. Is this us? Is this the gang?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm Jeremiah, and we're just going to talk a little bit about the watershed and our place in it. Man, it is buggy out here. I apologize. So I like to know before I do anything, especially whenever I was in high school, but also in college. My time is precious. Your time is precious. I'm not going to waste your time, and you don't want your time wasted. So why are we doing this? Why are we talking about this? Why is this important to us as individuals, but as a collective whole? Our bodies are made up of mostly water, right? We're water. Yep. We live in a watershed. Everybody lives in a watershed. We all drink water. I mean, I assume so, right? Everybody drinks water.
Yeah.
If you don't drink water, you drink Coke, right? Or some other soda or whatever, you know. You drink something. Beer, hopefully not. So, we all drink something. All of that's water-based. We all eat, right? Everybody eats. I love to eat. So, it's all water-based. Water goes into growing those crops. Water goes into raising the animals that we consume. Water is a part of everything. So we live in the New River watershed. Here's Hinton. For this demonstration purposes, just pretend like the name's not there. We're going to pretend that Fayetteville's down there. It'll do, all right? So we live in this watershed. Why is this important? We're all members of the watershed. We're all members of the community of Fayetteville, right? We're all members of the community of life. And our actions as individuals and as communities have direct impacts on each other, but also everybody downstream from us as well. We're all linked and united by water. All humans need it. All life needs it. Okay, so let's say we had we picked up our boo thing. We decided we're gonna go on a date. So we jump on the interstate. We're ripping down 64. We're going to Mickey D's, because it's gonna be a cheap date night. We're not made of money here, right? Okay, so we get ourselves, we throw down because you love this person, you're into them. You throw down that $20 bill and you're like, baby, get as many Big Macs as you can eat. You get those Big Macs, you choke them down. But what went into it? I mean, you're eating meat, you're eating vegetables, sort of, maybe, and water. Exactly. So a cow alone can drink over 8 gallons of water in a day, and that's just like the median cow. I'm sure there's thirstier ones out there who are doing more. So cow, the meat, takes a tremendous amount of water to grow. All the vegetables that go into it, the way that we produce our agricultural systems it's very water intensive. Water is essential to that meal, that Big Mac meal. So we've got the farmer, let's say, up here. He's up in the mountains, growing those cows, growing those vegetables for our Big Mac. But he or she isn't managing their sewage system very well. They've got all this animal crap, right? Because animals produce crap. And they're not spreading it properly. So it winds up getting concentrated. Maybe his animals are getting into the local streams in his area. And he's thinking to himself, what does it matter? I'm nowhere near anybody else. This doesn't matter. This is only affecting me in my area. Wrong. We're all linked up by water. Everybody requires water. So not only the water that goes into creating those animals that we're consuming, but all the secondary effects, all that pesticides and herbicides he used on his crops to grow the lettuce and tomatoes for that. All the hormones and all the animal feces that had to be gathered up winds up concentrating on his farm. And oh no, what's this? A flood, you say? Boom. All that pesticide gets in the water. Here, I'm gonna need some help down there. Will you take the spray bottle, please? Thank you. Okay, so boom. We had a big flood event, got nailed, all that pesticide and herbicide made its way down. Well, you're thinking, you saw that on the news and you're like, oh man, that's a shame. Luckily, me and Honey are down here, we're okay. But you're driving your car back and you went to McDonald's for your date, so you're obviously on a budget and your vehicle's not doing so hot these days. It's got a couple leaks, maybe needs new tires. It's looking a little rough, it's starting to make those noises, and boom, you park your car at McDonald's and suddenly it starts leaking along with every other car in the parking lot. Give me some water right on that orange thing there. Whack it good, don't be afraid. There you go, get in there. So all that oil winds up making its way into the water system from the parking lot. Again, individual actions that have consequences. Okay, need your help too. So you had to get gas in that car, right, to get yourself to McDonald's so that you can press your gal with $20 worth of guy or gal with $20 worth of Big Macs. But that truck that was bringing gasoline to your gas station hits one of these wonderful West Virginia mountain roads, turns over, wrecks, and boom, spills all of its gasoline. Go ahead and spill that gasoline. And it makes its way into the watershed. Who here has a pet? Dog, cat, little brother or sister? Well, those things all produce poop. So even on a small scale, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Jeremiah, I don't eat McDonald's. I don't have a significant other. I don't drive a car. My butt stays home and plays PlayStation all day, and I hang out with my 50 cats. Maybe that's true. But your pet still has an effect, right? Our individual actions have consequences for the whole community because we all rely on this water. So your pet produces lots of poop, and guess what? Gets in there, right into the water system. So watershed, right? All that water is going to move from the high places to the low places. That is at the very basics of what a watershed is. That area of land where the common water drains into. So we saw from the video that we have a rich history of industry in this state. Logging, mining were the two big ones. Jobs are great, jobs are important, we need them. But again, our individual actions have consequences for ourselves, but also the whole community, especially within a watershed. So we love flipping on that lights, we love playing the PlayStation, we love having a good time. It takes energy though, fossil fuel energy. So all that mining has left us a pile of slurry and acid mine drain off. We get a big weather event and it starts raining and we get a flood up on high, and all of that acid mine makes its way into the water. So basically, we've got this common watershed which we all depend on because we all eat, we all brush our teeth, right? We all take showers. Who here flushed the toilet at least once today? Yeah, we all depend on water. We're all using it, it's our common resource. But we have a lot of actions that we take that impact it. So it's not all bad news though. You're like, yes, not every day a truck's going to turn over and dump stuff into the river. It does happen. And not every farmer is just allowing all their animal waste in there and using pesticides and herbicides. But it does happen. So what we can do as individuals to kind of help curtail this and keep our eye on it is be conscious and educate ourselves. So some simple things just on a small home scale. If you brush your teeth, turning the water off between brushing. Have you ever heard the term, if it's mellow, if it's yellow, let it mellow? So instead of flushing the toilet every time you use it, if you take a pee, it's sterile. Just leave it for a flush or two. Being water conscious, having a meatless Monday. I'm not saying don't eat meat, but if you take one day out of the week and you don't consume any meat with those meals that you and your family cook, meat is incredibly water intensive. So a lot of little things that we can do add up. It may not seem like a lot, and maybe as an individual it doesn't, but when all of us do it collectively, it makes a huge difference. We live in the community of Fayetteville, right? So we use community water, and again, we all rely on that water system. So what that little individual actions we take do have lasting effects. Yeah, I think I heard everything else. Pollution. So again, a lot of these things that we've created, problems for our watershed, are human created, which means that we can fix those problems as well. And it's important because it affects each and every one of us. Like we've established, we all use water and we're all members of this watershed. So it's, even if you don't give two craps about anything else that lives here, you and your family still depend on it. So as individuals, we can make small changes that do add up, and as communities, we can make bigger changes that add up to real change on how we live and how we interact with our watershed. Go team. All right, well, I think we're going to make our way back into the VC, and then thank you, miss, appreciate you. And then we're going to, I believe, then we're going to head down to Brookside we're gonna go get ourselves some educational water.
Yeah.